Yeah, what's it called? I mean, California has like their like only electric cars by 2035.
Yeah.
And then they have like the headlines like "Don't plug in your electric cars, it's straight in
They
the
don't have
grid."
the power grid.
And I'm like,
Their power grid can't support it.
you can't even support the cars you have now. Like now you're gonna add like 100 million more.
What's even more crazy that people aren't talking about is that California is actually outlawing all small engines next year.
Small engines?
Yeah, so landscapers and like farmers, they all have to start using electric next year.
Well, like lawnmowers? Or?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, they don't know it, because we went to that big freaking trade show in California,
yeah.
right? And a lot of the farmers are just like, fuck it, like they're all gonna break the law next year. They don't know what to do.
Yeah,
they're like this is unsustainable. Like you can't fucking sustain it. Like they're just all going to just not follow the law.
I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. They're gonna be like,
like that's like saying you can't drink water next year. I don't know. It's like what the fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's an issue that no one even knows about right now is the small engine thing. But yeah, it sounds to me that people just aren't even going to follow it.
Well, I mean, it sounds like they think that it's going to help them, but it's really like it sounds like they're trying to sink that state as fast as they possibly can.
Oh yeah, it could happen next year. I mean, that's why I laughed at like when they announced that they're going to outlaw cars in 10 years. I'm like, dude, that doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Because no one's talking about what's going to happen next year.
Yeah.
Like, their experiments already going to fail next year because no one's going to follow the fucking law.
Yeah.
Like, it's dumb.
Yeah.
You can't. They're gonna try to ban small engines, and it's not gonna succeed.
Yeah.
So how are you gonna ban cars? For God's sakes.
It's funny because you're gonna have like they're gonna ban small engines. Everyone's gonna be like, why can't this person come mow my lawn? They're like,
yeah.
Maybe we gotta walk this back a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Oh well, I had to charge my 50 batteries to mow 2 lawns.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do that. I saw this video online where someone was talking about how like if the U.S. went to all electric cars, it would add like 50 times the strain on the electric grid. And they're like, what are you gonna do about it? They're like, well, we're gonna make it better. They're like, well, how?
Yeah, you're gonna need more coal. You're gonna need more nuclear plants. You're gonna need. I mean, nuclear. You're probably gonna need nothing but nuclear.
Yeah. Nuclear
to do that. Yeah,
you're not gonna have solar. I'm not gonna have wind.
No,
to do
that's
it.
not. No. I understand that there is one thing I understand about solar. Like how people have solar on their homes.
Yeah.
There is a point to having solar, and that's if the grid goes out, then you can still have power.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, what's it called?
It's not. I don't think it's necessarily green energy, but I would put it in the category of being off the grid.
Yeah. Well.
What
so this is what I've seen is like what Tesla's doing. They have like the power wall or whatever, like the big batteries they have in people's houses where they like can take in solar energy and store it in this battery pack, and then whatever is left over they can sell back to the electric companies. That has some merit in my opinion because now you have this battery at your house that you can use if you need it.
Yeah.
And everything else goes to the power companies. But like, if you just have like you're reliant on you have to have sunlight to have power, like.
Yeah. Well, and that's where it's headed. Where you have a mixture of solar panels and battery.
Yeah.
Where you're storing the energy. For a rainy day or whatever.
Especially I would use Idaho as an example. Like we have like those inversions, like those clouds.
Oh yeah, you're screwed.
A month. Like what are you gonna do? Nothing. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
You can't make the sun come out.
Yeah.
In that instance, so having that battery pack is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I hate how our society right now is just all. It's just all one thing. It's like, no, it could be a mixture of everything. Like, it doesn't have to be all one thing, you know?
Yeah,
it's just frustrating.
That is frustrating, and that's the problem. I think it's more of an agenda than it is a actual way to help us. Because, like, having an electric car is good if all of that power is, green. But right now, I think a lot of it isn't.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing was I was listening to one of Joe Rogan's podcasts where he was talking about, well, one of his guests was saying that the thing that people don't talk about is to make the batteries for electric cars, you had to destroy a bunch of land.
Yeah.
Like, you had to mine a shitload of land to make, like, batteries. So he's like, in the long run, if you're trying to replace all gasoline cars, you're probably going to destroy more of the earth than you are just mining fucking oil.
Yeah. Yeah, I have heard that. From what I see on the internet, is that, like, to offset the emissions of a gas car, like, you have to use an electric car for, like, 3 years before you start offsetting the emissions. Because, the lithium batteries and the mining and all that stuff causes tons of emissions. Plus, those battery packs don't last forever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're going to have to replace them at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a finite amount of those rare earth materials that you can actually use.
Yeah, it's not as easy as people think. I don't know. I was laughing because I saw this really funny video on Twitter where I think that it was a guy. It was in a different nation. I think it was like Australia or something. And he was using one of those. He was using an electric excavator, or I don't know, machinery. It was battery powered. And he's like, I don't know how to speak the language. But anyway, their accent. I'm not gonna try. Okay. But anyways, he's like it's like this excavator only lasted like 3 hours. And he's like, and we're charging it right now. And then he walks to the end of the building, and no joke, there's this gasoline generator that's like half the size of this room that's like running full speed to charge this battery. And everyone's going, what?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
Yeah, that is definitely like in my opinion, like a huge problem. What is gas like? Yeah, you're charging your electric car, but where's the energy coming from? Coming from coal? Coming from Another thing is like, is the electricity coming from like a different continent? Like, is it China? Is it Russia? Is it Ukraine? Yeah. Their emissions are way worse than ours are.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, man.
And then you get into the self-driving cars, you're like, not a chance.
Yeah, I think good luck with the self-driving cars. I am going to drive myself from now on, but anyone that wants to use the self-driving cars, go for it, man.
Did you hear how they're like the electric cars that people have been complaining that they're too silent? So now they're like putting in artificial engine noises
to make it. Oh my gosh!
Like there's noises coming out of the speakers to make it sound like you're driving.
That is so stupid, man. Why would you do that? Why on earth would you have the fake engine noise? Wouldn't you enjoy it being silent?